Hello everyone, this is Felipe Grisi talking, and today you're gonna play Sauerbraten. As you can see, Sauerbraten is a first-person shooter, and in this kind of game, all the sounds from the weapons, shots and explosions play a very important role, because they can give the player the sense of power and can distinguish the power between the weapons. For the pistol sound, I recorded a Brazilian 380mm Taurus pistol. I placed a condenser AKG Perception 420 behind the head of the shooter and a dynamic AKG D40 near the weapon itself to capture the mechanism of the weapon. Next, I used a multi-band compressor to enhance the sound of the mechanism. Inside FMOD, the sound was pitched down a little bit to give the sense of a bigger weapon. To record the grenade launcher sound, I bought some fireworks in a store nearby my house.
Health boost in 10 seconds.
So I went to an open space to fire everything. Again, I used the AKG Perception placed 6 feet away from the source and the AKG D40 just 1 feet away. Then in FMOD, I pitched down the sound a little bit and added some EQ to get the result I wanted. The rocket launcher sound is composed by 4 layers. One of them is to give the punchy initial sound to simulate the rocket being shot, and the 3 others compose the sound of the rocket traveling. After importing the sound into FMOD Studio, I decided to randomize a flanger effect on the rocket launcher, so every time the player shoots the weapon he gets a slight different variation. That's a very good way to have a lot of sound variety with just a few sound files. That saves space and processing power, which results in an efficient game project once it won't have to load a bunch of files. For the minigun sound, I recorded a 38 caliber revolver. I went to a shooting training center nearby my house and we fired the weapon in a space that had a ceiling. The ceiling worked like a filter, enhancing the middle frequencies of the weapon. Again, I used the AKG Perception and the D40. As you can see, I used a multi-band compressor in the sound I recorded and implemented it in FMOD. The machine gun sound of the game is just one very small file that repeats what the player is pressing the fire button. The shotgun sound was created layering the sound of the weapon firing and the reload sound. The reload sound was pitched down a little to add more body, and I randomized an EQ inside FMOD to get more variety. For the item back, I designed the sound from scratch using Super Collider. It's actually a simple amplitude modulation which results in a vibrato effect. I used an LF3, which is a triangular oscillator, modulated by another LF3. The modulator frequency is increased using the X-Line U-Gen, which results in an increase in vibrato speed. For the voices that announces health boost and quad damage, I added a slapback delay with only 1 repetition and a lot of reverb. The intention was to give a feeling that a recorded voice is announcing the good news for the characters inside the game.
Quad damage, 10 seconds. Health boost in 10 seconds.
For the health sound, I used the Goliath sound library and I played an arpeggio using the G, D and G 1 octave higher notes. I used the blockhead lead synth, but I increased the attack and release speeds. The death sound has a nice delay with a good feedback and also some reverb. I let it a little higher in volume than the pain sound.
Seconds. Quad damage in 10.
The pain sound is a multi-event sound, like the pistol and rocket launcher for instance. But this time, each sound is very different from each other. I added some reverb and delay in the audio track of the sound. The effect is applied in all the sounds that comprises the multi-event in FMOD. Here you can see the spreadsheet with all the sounds presented here. Note that it has an FMOD event column, which represents the events inside FMOD, and a column with the name of all the sound files. It also has some other notes like date of recording, mics used, effects, revision notes, etc. FMOD Studio is a very powerful tool for game audio. It helps us create a lot of sound variety using few files. That saves a lot of space, which is something very desirable in a game production process. Thank you very much for watching this video. I would like to thank Leonard Cole and the School of Video Game Audio for all the instructions. Please feel free to contact me anytime. Thanks again and see you next time.